Hello Emerson students, this is Miss Gaber and today I'm going to teach you what we're doing with this yarn ball. You're going to need 2 hands, your yarn ball, and a pair of scissors. You don't need the scissors right now, so I'm going to move them out of the frame off to the side. Right now we just need our yarn ball. We're going to unravel a little bit of it so that we have some yarn to work with. Great. Now I'm going to make a slip knot. A slip knot is something that we use to start any knitting project really that you do. It's useful for a lot of other things. A slip knot is not a permanent knot, and I'll show you what happens when you make one. You take the end of your string, you're going to cross it over the other end where it's connected to the yarn ball, and then you're going to take the loop and flip it over this string right here. I'm putting it on top of my working end that is connected to the yarn ball. Then I'm going to pick that up. I'm going to actually put my finger under it. And I can pull my tail end of the yarn ball to tighten it. So now I have a slip knot on my finger. And if I take it off, I can show you that when you pull the slip knot, it comes out. It's gone. Let's do that again. Taking the tail end of my yarn, crossing it over, flip the loop over the other side, pull the middle through, and then we tighten it by pulling on the end. I'm going to put this on my left hand because I want to use my right hand to do the knitting work, the crochet work. If you are left-handed, then you'll do the opposite. You would put this on your right hand so that you have your left hand free to do the work. So now I'm going to make sure that my tail is out of the way. I will use the tail, but the tail is not connected to my ball of yarn, so I don't want to knit or crochet with that. I want to make sure that I have plenty of yarn, so I'm using the other end. I'll unravel it a little more, and then I'll get started. So I'm going to show you the first step is to take the working end and put it over your finger like this. It's not connected to anything, it's just laying on top of your finger. You can hold it down with your other fingers if you want to. Now you're going to take that first loop that you made, the slip knot, and carefully pull it over the other one and off your finger without taking this one off. That one stays for now. Now I'm going to flip my hand over so that you can see what it looks like. It looks like a big O, big circle. So I'm going to tighten it because it's a little bit loose. You can tighten it by pulling on the ends of your string. And it will also tighten the loop around your finger, so you have to be careful. So to tighten it, you have to pull both ends. You pull the working end and the tail end a little bit. I'm going to go over my finger, and I'm going to pull the bottom over the top again. Flip it over, it's a little loose. I'm pulling on both ends of that string to kind of tighten it. I'm going to show you what happens if you don't tighten it. It's okay if you don't tighten it too. If you just want to practice this part, you'll just have a looser chain. And that's totally fine. So I wrap it around my finger, pull the bottom over the top. Wrap it again, pull the bottom over the top again. Pull it over, and you can just keep going and going and going. It still looks like the same kind of pattern, but these have more space in between them. And either way is fine. I prefer to tighten it because I like the look of that better. Let's go through all of that again, slowly, and then I'll show you how to finish when you're all done. Loop knot, folding it over. Pick this up and tighten by pulling your end, your tail, and then put that on your finger. Wrap it over on top, pull it, and tighten it. Wrap your finger, pull the loop, and tighten it again. I'm going to do this about 10 or 15 times, and then I'm going to end mine. However, you can keep going as long as you like with yours. You can use as much of this yarn as you want for this lesson. If you find that it starts to creep up your finger, see how mine's getting close to the top of my finger, you might want to slide it down. That's why it's important to keep it kind of loose, not too tight on your finger. And now, if I was done, if I decided this was enough for me for now, it's kind of cool, then I would cut it, but not too short. Cut it about right there. And now with this end, I'm going to loosen up my slip knot on my finger so that there's space there. And the end that I just cut is going to go into that loop. And then I take it off and pull it tight. Now I have this, and I could use this as a bracelet. I could tie it on. Or I could make longer ones into other pieces like a necklace or a lanyard. So now I still have all of this yarn for practicing. Sometimes I might want to practice just for fun, and I might not want to tie it and keep it forever. If I'm just practicing because I want to learn how to do finger knitting, and I don't want to keep it, and I want to be able to use this yarn again for something else, like maybe the next finger knitting lesson, then I will do my practice like this. Remember, wrap it around your finger, pull the bottom loop off. And because I started with the slip knot, that means none of this is permanent. I can undo it all really easily. That can also be kind of frustrating because if it falls off, you might undo it on accident sometimes. But that's really okay because this can take a lot of practice. And the more you practice it, the better you'll get. And that means you might be able to move on to even more challenging finger knitting works after. So say I did all of this, or maybe I even did a lot more. If I don't want to keep it, I just take it off my finger. And then I pull the working end, and it pulls each of those loops out of the one before until it's back to being just a regular piece of yarn. Now you might have a lot of loose yarn now because we did that, so we'll need to wrap it back up. Just take the string and wrap it around the ball. And then I like to tuck it in. Once I have it almost all wrapped up, I take part of that end and tuck it under some of my strings in the ball so that it doesn't get lost. Of course, it doesn't come unraveled. You do want to leave a tail sticking out so that it's easy to start again the next time. So practice your finger knitting, and then let your teachers know when you're ready for the next lesson.